Hello. Hey there. Okay, so tonight we're going to be making some salmon and cheese pastries. So these are like meet and greet hors d'oeuvres you'd have with a glass of wine when your guests arrive. So really simple to do. You can do it loads ahead of time. Get them all prepped and then just put them in the oven when you're ready, and they take about 10 minutes to cook. So here we go. To start with, we're going to take a sheet of bought puff pastry and we're going to roll it out quite thin, and we want it so it's a square that's probably about 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres. Okay, so for this piece of pastry, I think we're about as got it about as thin as we can get it. So I've got a tin of salmon. I'm going to then just sort of separate sort of like the best bits of the fish out. So just remove some of these grey bits. Okay, so I've separated these out. So you're just left with you know, the nicer bits of the salmon. And then for the these bits, you can either, I guess, just throw them away, or if you're lucky, you might find a volunteer that will eat them for you. And then get yourself about, I think, 2 tablespoons of chilli sauce, and just put that in there with the salmon, and stir that in. And judge for yourself as well. If it's looking like you haven't got a good coating on it, just put a little bit more in. But I think about 2 tablespoons is about right. I'll put a little bit more in. Okay, and get your slice of pastry, and then cut it in half. Try and do a slightly better job than I've done here. Okay, and then just evenly distribute it. You're going to have to use your fingers at some stage here on the 2 bits. Try and leave yourself just a little bit of a lip at one side. Right, and put your capers on. I've drained these capers. It is very important to do that. The flavours of the capers are great, but they usually come in brine, and the brine is quite a strong flavour. So if you just rinse off the brine from them, then you get the right. Okay, and now I'm going to grate my cheese over this. So I'm using a mature cheddar cheese, or extra mature actually, but you know, pick the strength you guys like. Okay, and hopefully we've still got a little bit of a lip there. And then we're going to just brush with some water that lip just there. And now we're going to roll this up. And then with a fork, we'll just, and then we'll wrap that in cling film, and then we'll pop that in the fridge for about 10-15 minutes. So what to drink with this?
If you're going to be having this as your meet and greet hors d'oeuvres, if you're a guest at your canapes, then you can serve whatever you like with it, really. You could have a glass of sparkling wine. I'm going to have a Vespa Martini with mine. But if you want to go for a white, now this is something, it's a Picpoul Sauvignon. This Picpoul is something I hadn't drunk at all before this year, but it's really good. It's almost like a Sauvignon Blanc, but you know, slightly different flavour. But it's going to go really well. It's white, it goes with the fish, it's lovely.
So 10 minutes have gone by, and got the seal on the bottom. Just cut these up about an inch in width. And then we're going to flatten them. Okay, when you've got them all on the paper, you've squished them down and they're just going to stick just a little bit. So just lift them all up and just arrange them so they're not too close to each other. You might think, oh, why are we doing this? But these will have a tendency to try and stick to the paper. Now these need to go into an oven, about 190, 200, and put them in there. We want them in there for about 15 minutes, but after 7 minutes, take them out and turn them over, and then that will make sure that we don't get some raw pastry, and they're all nice. And that's it.